Yes.
Are you ready for Mother's Day? Macy's Friends and Family is going on right now. It's the perfect time to save on the perfect gift for mom. With an extra 30% off designer.
0.5.
Richard Serra. Call now hardline at 850. Difference time is 818-501-4721. We'll talk to Richard from east of the Rockies. 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies, toll free. Call 800-618-8255. This is Coast to Coast AM with your guest host, Richard Serrett.
We are into the final stretch, the home stretch of Open Lines. A remarkably clear video of a UFO over New York City's LaGuardia Airport has gone viral as the witness who captured the footage has come forward to share her story. The tantalizing scene caused something of a stir in UFO research circles when it first appeared online last month. Now, people like this and News Nation's officially Banfield spoke to Michelle Reyes about filming the strange cylindrical object as she was flying into NYC with her daughter in late March. When I realized that I had something like this on video, the first thing I did was email the FAA, she explained, as maybe it was a safety hazard. Despite the fantastic nature of the footage, Reyes indicated that she received no response from the FAA, which led her to contact the UFO reporting group, Enigma Labs. Intriguingly, after posting her video on Facebook, another passenger on the plane reached out and revealed that she had noticed it when she was in the air as well. Well, one might think having a second witness the weird object would provide some level of reassurance. Reyes noticed that it was a little more nerve-wracking when someone also saw what I saw. Although Reyes' footage was seemingly dismissed by the authorities, the video has subsequently spread like wildfire since her News Nation appearance this week, with media outlets around the world sharing the head-scratching scene. You can check it out and watch the video for yourself in the carousel up at coasttocoastam.com. Hey, you can check out Coast to Coast Paranormal Podcast Network here. This exciting network features 3 podcasts of the paranormal, supernatural, and the unexplained, and our current offerings include Joshua Warren's Strange Things, Sandra Champlain's Shades of the Afterlife, and Heidi Hollis, Dark Becomes Light. You can look for new episodes every Friday. That's the Coast to Coast AM and iHeartMedia's Paranormal Podcast Network. All right, back to your calls. Open Lines continues after this timeout on Coast to Coast AM.
Gold's pushing your $600. You paid 25
lines and all right, welcome back to Open Lines, and first-time caller Tristan is in Missouri. Tristan, good morning. Welcome to Coast.
Hi there, how are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. on the signs and then kind of tell a story after that. First of all, you don't have to make it all official if you encounter a spirit. I mean, you're gonna be kind of shell shocked. And I would have seen you saying prayers sometimes, so it'll kind of like leave you a little flustered at first sight. But God gave you something called a certain place. And everyone should have had an experience at this point in their lives where when you get that gut punch, you know that that's God. That's God talking to you. Can you agree with that?
Well, I don't think I've experienced that. You mean, if I don't see, I mean, under what other circumstance would I receive that gut punch, the gospel?
Oh, like it could be a myriad of different situations and or circumstances. It could be like a good friend of yours at work. You're both up for the promotion, and they come up and tell you a falsehood, and it's like, bam, instantly, you know that something is not right. It's not kosher, and it sticks in your craw, so to say, where you know that this could not be possible. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I know what you mean by, you know, the metaphorical gut punch, but when you relate it to the gospel, you're saying when you feel that, that's the gospel.
Amen, brother. Amen. Also, furthermore, in addition, whatever you'd like to say, you don't have to be, it's not like a formality. Like, reading the salutation, demon, blah, 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 I renounce you, you know, this isn't the exorcist. You just, in the name of Jesus, be gone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Get your ass off my property. That's my husband.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I'm making you laugh about that. But I've like had so many encounters. Now, as far as the Jesus goes, I was going through a very difficult and, well, a horrible time. I had an ex-boyfriend who kept calling and leaving messages about him going to kill himself if I was going to come back to him. And he literally had a gun and was drinking himself silly, and it was just a really bad thing. And
hey, we're gonna need
to this time, and I just didn't need this, and it just wore me down. You know, every time I come home from work, it'd be like I had 6 messages from this crazy man, and finally, like I was in between shifts
Hi
of
there!
going
Get
from
psyched for
one
the
job
most
to the
shopping
next,
fun
and
ever!
I laid down for a little bit,
Sorry,
get off my
I've been
feet,
having an
and
awful
I just
day.
started chanting, "Jesus save me," over and over like a mantra. And when I was fixing to get up, I put one foot down on the bed, and I sat, or on the floor, and I sat up, and Jesus was in my bedroom. And I couldn't move, because I was like, you know, you're in that position where you're like tapping in and out of the bed.
Right, and you felt it in your solar plexus? Nothing?
Oh, baby, I saw. He was standing there.
No, but I know, but as confirmation.
Oh, yes. I mean, I was under such tremendous stress and sleep deprivation and just, you know, I was getting this bad juju from this man. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't emotionally handle somebody keep calling me and telling me that they're going to kill themselves.
Right. What did Jesus say?
Had done. But
did Jesus say anything?
He didn't have to. It was his presence. I locked eyes with him, and it's like a download. When you go to do a download of a music, you know, whatever. You know how instantaneously a download is?
Yes.
Yes, it's just vaporized in a nanosecond. I couldn't even tell you how quickly I was replaced with peace, love, joy, serenity. And then as soon as I'm feeling that and just acknowledging it with him and thanking it and being like, it's just in awe. He just slides right across my room in the bedroom and goes out my sliding glass door. And as he's leaving, I'm like, but Jesus, wait. That's when I could talk. And I was so mad at myself for that, for not saying something. But I was just, you know, you don't expect to wake up and see Jesus.
No, you cannot.
I was a little bit taken aback, if you will.
No kidding. Tristan, thank you for that. That's a remarkable story. Let's see. We're going to say hi to Stan in South Dakota. Hey, Stan, welcome to Coast.
Well, thanks, Richard. I just wanted to remind you, don't let the good life pass you by.
Mama Cass, I remember you asked for that song. Did you hear it?
Good evening. This has been an extraordinary show, especially. And I'll try to help the callers and about the Jesus issue. First, God, there's only one God, and He's sovereign, and there's no way we can manipulate Him. He loves us, everybody, even the ones that don't love Him. And so I found over the years, I'm 77, I'm a Vietnam veteran. I went through all kinds of crises in my life, and this is what I'd like to say. Jesus is real.
Everything good?
Now, these people that have, images and presence, I don't argue, because unless it's something really, really that's beyond his nature. But to have to me was, I try to be religious. And,
Okay, so Maze Banks put immobilizers in all their arena cars. So let's deal with that ahead of time. Merryweather is constantly developing these, bypass modules that can override shit like this. And they're portable. I don't know exactly which lockup has the anti-immobilizer thing, because they got jammers on protecting all their locations. If you take those down, I'll be able to get you a specific lockup to rob.
And I'm going to obey. And since this transaction happened, my life is just real. Well, I mean, life isn't easy, even if you're a believer. You're going to have complications. But I don't get excited. And I forgive in a way. And I have compassion on people that are poor, but me, because I don't know what they've gone through. I said, there's a time in my life when I was a mess and people had compassion on me. So the best way I'm trying to explain this is, don't try to emphasize Jesus for God. Just with faith, ask Him to come into your heart. I'm very sorry, because we're all sinners. But if you're sincere, He will do this in your life. He won't need drums or lightning. He'll just be a small light position.
All right, Stan. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much. Let's see. I'm gonna go to. Is it Rob or Ray in New York? Is it Rob? Ray. Rob in New York. Hi, Rob. Good morning. Welcome.
And then the last lawyer moved the press, even though he was being hurt. It was a little bit
Why is that?
I don't know. It was like a depressing vibe, a depressing tone, I think.
Man, well, he's just very soft-spoken. Well, that's kind words. It's very calm. It's very calm. Low-key.
Yeah, that's a better way to describe it.
You're very energized. You see, you're
Yeah.
full of energy. It's like something contrast.
Okay, whatever you did,
Well, I am
I got a better idea of where the lockup is. But fuck up the last couple of jammers so I can nail it down.
I have that youthful energy. I have that energy too. And you know, and it, I think in the God, or people talking about God right now, I don't think it's been doing it. Guy throwing down thunderbolts. I think it's the universe. We're sort of involved in the brain of God. That's how I look at it. And the history of God, you choose to bring synchronicities as spiritual signs. Just like tonight, like I haven't seen anything close to close in years. And I thought my longtime friend and colleague was going to be a guest tonight, Gary Wayne, but it happened to be tomorrow night, Saturday or tonight actually. And so I just sit around to listen. And then one of your callers, we're talking about the same thing we're talking about on another show about flying in your dreams and outside experiences. So I just felt like this goosebumps and I chilled and I felt the urge to call in. And you know, I tuned in and I think that there's signs that come to anybody at any time and we sometimes don't see them in life, but I related to a lot of the things that he was calling in. You know, I was born actually still inside the hull in the amniotic sac, but my mother's water never broke. So I got
That's good work. And like, you know, they still that Victorian era, the sailor would advertise in the newspaper, save the boat. And the newspaper, or sorry, the father would take that call, they would keep it and advertise it for sale in the newspaper. And sailors.
I got it. Head to the lockup on your GPS and pick up the anti-immobilizer thing.
wow, yeah, there's a lot of stories about the boy. And a guy named Professor Carl Ginsberg, I wrote a book called Night Battles about it. Really good book about that. People tend to have second sight or hypersensitivity. A lot of people that are born this way. And yeah, this was the story with me my whole life. I actually speak all over the world about my experiences and research. I've been on Richard Oakland and different shows like that before. But I had a near-death experience in 1987 that radically changed my life. And then after that, I was 9 years old in 1987. After that, I started, without realizing it at first, that I was going out of, I was trying to go out of body without trying to. My body was just automatically doing it at certain points, and I was fighting it off. But meanwhile, as a 9-year-old kid, I thought I was getting neurological issues. And then when I went into adolescence, it started to fade away. And puberty, it went away. It didn't do it anymore. But my near-death experience is a very interesting story where I had that kind of experience that guy described earlier in the show.
You need something, huh? One of your rides? Let me know.
And,
I'll get there as soon as I can.
That accident, sporting accident, when I was 9 years old, and they had to operate on me to save my life. And Richard, I didn't remember going to school the next day. What happened was I got hurt playing soccer. My testicle had gotten ruptured, and a black tear was forming in my tender life form. And we were on the way to the hospital. I'm begging my dad, don't take me to the hospital, please. You know, I don't want to put my pants down. They brought me home on Sunday night. I ended up falling asleep. The next day, I go to school. I remember going to school. They said I blacked out on the way to class. And what I remember is right before I woke up on the operating table. And I remember, you know, like, sometimes it's like a dream where the dream so totally inflates you up out of the dream, you just remember like a little bit, right? Yeah, so it's something like that, like magnified by a million. And it was so potent, so real, so alive. It's been a catalyst for all my research into like plasma physics and all the things that is what I experienced. Being published in my body, looking down at myself in the hospital room, my arms out and my legs out like I was giving birth, people working on me. I'm barely recognizing myself, and I'm hovering over myself in the hospital room. And I made this conscious decision, like, oh my God, that's like, I didn't say it out loud, but I remember making a conscious decision, like, oh my God, like, I don't want to go to that pain, it's bad. But the second I made that choice, I shot like moving earth 1,000,000 miles an hour, straight up. The warmth was around me, guiding me, and I'm leaping earth. I'm passing through this green, sentient sea of intelligence that was making whale songs and bird songs. So I'm literally hovering above earth with my arms and legs out in that same position still, and this shivering that looks like water, sort of like the day when you see a shimmering wave in the air, is in front of me, and my body's guiding into the vortex of water. And while I'm doing it, like data is in there, all this knowledge of the universe is in there, and I'm letting myself out intuitively in this water, like the bubble in the carpenter's leather. I'm telling people what I just saw, and they're like, no, you were unconscious. You know, you were dreaming. And it was so vivid, so alive, so amazing, so real. And I thought that they're doing that as a dream, that it was more real than this reality that I witnessed. And I couldn't understand it. I was confused. And Richard, it changed my whole life.
I guess so. I guess, boy, how could it not change? You're like, well, I gotta sleep a long time. But I'm so glad you called. With Jim Hendrix and his star, you closed the show. Really making something of that. All right, for George Nora, George Knapp, Bonnie Willison, Scarlett, Lion, Stephanie Stantz, Ed Hazel, Ed Galante, Jeremiah Harris, Chris Burroughs, Sean Lattimore, and Tim Manal. I'm Richard Sitter. Thank you for your ears and your voices, your beautiful voices. Until tonight, bye-bye.
delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. According to a recent Indeed survey, the listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/podcast. That's
where you don't have to do the cooking or the dishes. Where you have a whole buffet for the nachos for everyone. Each family dinner, pizza and chicken, parmesan pizza, and sliced breaded chicken, hot shredded mozzarella cheese.
It's the perfect April. You can reach 30% off designers that go on sale in Asian food, Macy's Fires, antique pictures, making fragrances, and more. Just get your Mother's Day gift.
It was a pain in the ass, but we got the anti-immobilizer. Bring it back to the yard whenever you get the chance.
Just one part that makes so widely stand apart. So parts people. When someone talks shame, they'll be wrong. You get on a train, let's get on. Like in the neighborhood, State Farm's there. Right? You can outplay on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
We have how we twist the situation. Like the neighbor, State Farm there. They cannot change. So, you're about to actually bring the burger knife. I'll grab the cheese, the back of the shop. You can touch it next time. On the side, it's very, very long. It's really important. Still, you don't have a case. I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm just guessing what's that talk. Sorry, boy. Okay. You never be to those things. Yeah, hi, Bob.
That is a remarkably made suit there, Les.
What are you going to show us? Look, just a place of here because I really knew what Frank Mueller and
just so comfortable these days. I wonder, am I cool now? Well, let's find out. Let's go ahead and spin it.
Upgrading your always into a more energy efficient model with newer air conditioning. You save money, save energy, and probably shows your family that you are face yourself less. It's a pure air touch-up.
Continues. I'm talking about the Fox News. Multiple tornado slam parts in Nebraska Carnival yesterday, and more twisters been spent on today from Texas into Oklahoma. Yesterday, 5 incidents produced one tornado that cut a long path across the area.
One of these tornadoes traveled well over nearly 100 miles from Lincoln, Nebraska, Illinois, and including areas like Omaha, Michigan, crossing state lines, and pushing into Iowa.
Fox weather meteorologist Jan Lewis said the twister had hit the Omaha suburbs, flattened homes and buildings. But Fox legal team called on the judge in his fish money case to immediately lift the gag order. The trial wrapped up for the week.
The state's newest witness, Gary Farrow, testified former President Donald Trump's old lawyer Michael Cohen tried opening a bank account under the name Resolution Consultants, LLC. That's the same account that former American Media CEO and President David Pecker testified Cohen nearly used to reimburse him for purchasing the lifetime rights to former Playboy model Karen McDougal's story about an alleged affair with Trump. He said again this trial was politically motivated. Pecker wrapped up his testimony, telling the court, quote, "I have been truthful to the best of my recollection."
Fox has named 5 pro-Palestinian protesters at Columbia University say they are at an impasse with administrators and won't clear their tent city.
Our movement here, when they tried to clear it last week, we prevailed. As they want to once again bring LAPD or any law enforcement, we prevailed.
Protest spokesman Mahmoud Khalil. The Wall Street Journal reports U.S. intelligence agencies have determined that Russian President Putin likely did not directly order the death of imprisoned opposition leader Alexei Navalny. He died in mysterious circumstances at a prison camp in February. America's was
Spring is in the air, and so is the
Maze Bank has been around for like a million years, so they're constantly ready.
Costly projects. It can't relate that Bell Standard Power has been building up since last year.
Dripping dead.
Seasonal to them. Plus, just getting your energy system free. Don't delay. Book today at benefitcodeservices.gov/radio.
Darcy and Cow here for Black Cow, the mature entrepreneur. You're better if you want with Black Cow. Apply to your lawn as top dressing and get 10 times more nutrients than topsoil. Black Cow will feed your lawn, your flower beds, and vegetable gardens for up to 3 months. Oh, yeah, everything grows better with sun, water, and Black Cow.
I know this place is abandoned, but don't attract too much attention. Unless you want to meet the Maze Bank security team early.
News over an area bigger than LA, Phoenix, or Dallas. You need an advantage. Action News Jackson with a fleet of new American drones to take you to breaking news live as it happens. You will only investigate reporters responding for help in every local county. Jordan Florida, no matter where you live. Action News Jackson. Local information you can count on. You're like me, you got kids, you go outside, you play, they get up balls stuck in the gutter, you gotta climb up there and get off gutters. When they get clogged, they're pain in the butt, and also you gotta climb up and grab somebody to do it. And clean out clogged gutters can even cause rot foundation issues. But if you use Leak Filter, you never have to worry about it. Leak Filter uses award-winning patented technology to keep everything out, but water, no flows, no gaps, no large openings or debris. What you do to protect your home, never clean out gutters again with Leak Filter is you go to leakfilter.com/WOKV, schedule your free home inspection, get up to 30% off your entire purchase. That's free inspection, up to 30% off at leakfilter.com, LEAFfilter.com/WOKV. Never have to clean your gutters again. LeakFilter.com/WOKV. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% secure filter discount. One discount per household. LeakFilter.com/WOKV. Imagine the weight of debt being completely lifted. You wake up tomorrow morning and you're 100% debt free from credit cards, car loan, personal loans. Rich Jones, Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can help make it happen fast. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly with Loan Pronto's AI-based system. You get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. Average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Your home value is up, and you can use that to wipe out all the credit card debt you're sitting on. It's a money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands of dollars at your fingertips. Approval just minutes away. Call 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. Loanpronto.com. 904-999-1508. MLS 1661781. Separate to lender approval. Equal housing lender. So no, go into the first alert forecast. 9 without the UKV weather meter mostly clear overnight. Temperatures dropping to the lower 60s with some fog developing toward morning. Then becoming partly cloudy for Saturday. A brief shower possible in just a few spots. With highs low 70s and the beaches to the upper 70s to near 80 here west of I-95. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm actually Jackson, Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish with 104.5 WOKV.
This is 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's news and talk.
The best of Sean Hannity is on now. Come in. Today. It's unsustainable. This
The concert is in the courthouse right now. I mean, history has begun.
You get shut down. And we know somebody because we used to be part of the community.
Senator, I am
confident that justice will be vindicated in the criminal prosecution of the case. Well, hopefully we'll get more trial than you got. Otherwise, there'll be no justice for anyone.
86 days left until America votes. Coast to coast. The two shining sea. Hey, right here for our final news roundup and information overload.
Right, news roundup, information overload hour. Toll free, our number will get to your calls, 800-941-SEAN if you want to be a part of the program. On Truth Social, President Trump put out, well, the Palestinian protests at Columbia University have closed the college down, but the area surrounding the courthouse in downtown Manhattan is closed up like a drum, with New York City's finest, meaning the police, all over the place. Why not send some to Columbia to protect the Jewish students that are being warned by a Columbia rabbi to stay away because it's not a safe environment for them? And he said anyway, the university would then not have to shut it down. Republicans want the right to protest anywhere in America, but it's got to be peaceful, and it's got to be, they have certain rules and regulations that go along with it. Anyway, we had a lot going on in court today, not the least of which was Letitia James was challenging the idea of Donald Trump's $175 million judgment bond. It will, in fact, stand. Maybe one of the oddest moments that I ever heard of from somebody I knew in the courtroom told me that, I think it was Judge Goron again, literally saying, well, how do we know if the $175 million is going to be guaranteed? The money's in cash, sir. Well, what if the money, what if the money loses value? It's in cash, sir. And then, ask the question 2 or 3 times. Anyway, Eric Trump is with us with the Trump Organization. That was a big win for your side today, but it actually didn't happen in a bold way.
This is exactly the nonsense we've been dealing with for the last 3 years. Because these are the money market accountants. This is the person that ruled against my father in neighborhood of $560 million. And the guy didn't know what a money market account was, and how sophisticated he was. We had a $175 million bond. We posted it in cash. And we told the judge that the DCG wasn't happy with that. The Attorney General of New York wasn't happy with that. And she said there's not enough collateral there. So we explained what the money market account is to the judge. We explained that the $175 million was posted by my father in full. And he was still questioning whether or not there was enough collateral. And he finally got the right answer because it was just foolish. But, this is what we had to deal with.
Well, what part of that being cash was he having a difficult time understanding?
Sean, I think the part that he was having a difficult time understanding is that he, would maybe for the first time rule against DCG, clearly in his pocket in some way, shape, or form. It's disgusting. We have a judge who will against my father again. In the neighborhood of $500 million for our bank. And the Michael report that we were the greatest lender that they ever had, and we never breached enough, and we never defaulted from a loan, and we got all the loans ahead of time. We were deep on more. They used the goal that he gave the type of business that they wanted for everybody because he had a balance sheet and everything else. Despite all that testimony, and despite the fact that there are no victims, and despite the fact that my father's statement of financial condition was undervalued, not overvalued, he levied a $500+ million fine against our family because he wants to try to put my father out of business. He wants to make sure he doesn't use that money on the campaign trail. He was told by somebody to go after Trump and attack him in every way and make his life absolutely hell. And so that's the logic, Sean. I mean, this isn't, this is illogical. This is, how can we take down Trump? How can we hurt Trump? How can we use the legal system against Donald J. Trump? How do we benefit the Democrats in power? How do we help Joe Biden? It's all a legal, it's all a use of the legal system that's being done for one political party. And we're seeing the same thing on the DA side, which you're watching today as well.
Well, let me go there because, like Letitia James, Alvin Bragg ran on a platform in part to get your father, the Trump Organization, and the Trump family, of which you are a part of. But anyway, this case is going forward 8 years later. How is it? The case started with 203 days to go before Election Day. We're now at 196 days to go before Election Day. And meanwhile, how that's not election interference, I don't know. But this is 8 years later. They couldn't find the time up to this moment to bring this case forward. And why is it that Alvin Bragg himself did not make the opening arguments today? Instead, we saw this guy, I believe his name is Michael Panicello is his name. And anyway, he's not a Bragg loyalist. Apparently, he's a Biden appointee of the Justice Department who was assigned to Bragg's office after Bragg himself decided not to prosecute Donald Trump and then changed his mind last minute. The previous DA decided not to prosecute your dad. We still don't even really know what the charges are, considering it would be a misdemeanor case to begin with in New York, and somehow they're trying to bring in federal election crimes into this. But the DOJ, that is as weaponized as it is, they passed on it as well. So it seems to me that probably every corporation in New York City has some number of non-disclosure agreements. They're not illegal. How do we get to this point?
Well, no one actually believes this case, Sean. I mean, let me put in context for everybody. This is $130,000. Alvin Bragg himself said he wanted nothing to do with the case because there was no case there. And every single day in New York, they're shutting down the FDR Drive. They're shutting down the entire, all the streets. Do you really think that the state of New York, which is having women getting thrown in front of subway cars, people are getting shot in Times Square, do we really believe that New York State is doing this? because they want to rectify, what they think is injustice of $130,000. Give me a break. I mean, every single time they shut down the FDR drive, it costs them $500,000, $1 million. The police presence around the courthouse costs them millions and millions and millions of dollars a day. This whole thing is a sham. And you're right, Alvin Bragg didn't want to bring this case, and Michael Colangelo, who's the prosecutor that you're talking about, he's gone from case to case to case. I mean, he's the bulldog that wants to take down Donald Trump, and it's all for political reasons. And let me just be very clear to everybody out there. My father was in Washington, D.C. He had nothing to do with any kind of accounting, right? I mean, he had given up his position in the Trump organization. He wasn't an officer, he wasn't a director. There was no communication with him because we took ethics incredibly seriously, and we built a wall between, obviously, the White House and a private company. My father was not involved at all on a day-to-day basis, in the organization, or on any basis in the organization. And they're saying that he committed a books and records violation because a legal expense submitted by an attorney was booked as a legal expense, which is exactly how you would book something that's submitted by an attorney. And by the way, a side note to a general ledger, which is about 2 words long, right? How you will write a paragraph in there. It was expense, a business expense. They're saying that, now this is 34 felony counts of which he could go to jail for the rest of his life, because while he was sitting behind a Resolute desk in Washington, D.C., a lower level accountant, booked this as a legal expense because it was submitted by a lawyer. That is the sum total of this case. But, Sean, the details of the case don't matter. They want to get Donald Trump. They want to get his name out. They want to smear his name. He's not really better than anybody. It's no different than Russia. I mean, they ran this nonsense for 3 years just to smear his name. And today you'll read about, Russia collusion in college textbooks, even though everybody knows that whole thing was a sham and it never happened, right? And it didn't matter. And the truth didn't matter. You would have shit out there every single day saying that, my father colluded with Putin and all this nonsense, and everybody knows it's not the case now. But they wanted to smear his name. They're doing the exact same thing in New York. They want him to sit there. They don't want him to be in all the states that he wants to be in. They don't want him all over the country. They don't want him out there fundraising. They want to try and prop up Biden in any way possible. And they're calling it, have you ever noticed that it's all liberal DAs and attorney generals, in the bluest states in the country, that are going after him? Why don't going after him? Why not wanting his entire life before he came down the golden escalator? Did he ever get so much of the party ticket? It's only after he created.
Let me ask you about this. Miranda Devine, she reported, for example, that, and this is very curious, and I have every belief it will come up in the case, the star witness for the prosecution will be Michael Cohen. I believe his conviction had to do with lying to Congress. But if you could go back and recall, and this is the main public, apparently the attorney conference was waived by Michael Cohen, which is why this public knowledge is why Miranda was able to write about it. But anyway, when Costello first met Cohen at the Regency Hotel, Cohen was distraught, suicidal, repeatedly said, I'll never spend a day in jail, I don't care what the F I have to do. And Costello memorialized that in writing. Cohen kept asking what his escape hatch was. Being a lawyer, Costello said that information incriminating Trump would give him his get-out-of-jail-free card, and then at the time insisted to his lawyers that he didn't have anything on Trump. One other point, if you look at the statements in the books and the records that they were entered, a fundamental question, all of these so-called payments from 2017, the entries that were made in whatever accounting books that you have, how does that constitute election interference for an election that was held in November of 2016? Can you explain that?
Yeah, he was already the president at the time. That's exactly right, and that's the insanity of this case. And Sean, I can't tell you, if you had seen, I was running a company the way I do, I can't tell you how many of our employees have been threatened over the years by prosecutors saying, we're going to come after you unless you tell us something about Donald Trump. And if you tell us anything that's, that we could use, we won't come after you, we won't go after your family. I never believed it could be America. I've seen this firsthand, I've heard it firsthand. I've seen these prosecutors go after, family members, call them up, interview them, subpoena them, go after them, and literally threaten them. You need to tell us something. If you don't tell us something, you're going to spend the next 5 years in jail because we're going to do X, Y, and Z to you, even though they did nothing wrong. And time and time, again, they come out and say, listen, we worked at a company for 20 years, 15 years, 30 years. It's a great company. We have no problem with anything that's ever been done. It's an honest company. It's a well-run company. It's perfect. They change the guidelines. These all over the place. I just can't tell you how many people are getting death on these people. But we have a judge. Who's a total political operative. We have his daughter, who's raised inappropriately and is still in the media in various filings.
By the way, you need to add that the judge donated to Biden's campaign in 2020.
Wait until you drive that car out of there, boss. If neither one is hard, this you're about to steal a freaking masterpiece.
She goes out, she fundraises using my father's name and pictures of him behind bars, all sorts of other things. To do that, but something, there's a huge conflict of interest. His daughter is literally making money.
I do fully expect you to book tickets for today's show. Even if it wasn't the day I arrived, the priceless unique card from one of the most powerful crime families in San Andreas. Still, should be a show, right?
John, in this country, you can't have family members profiting off of their father's, people who are in front of your father in criminal court. That's the nano-republic type stuff. It was very easy for this judge to say, that's fine. Somebody else take this case. There's another judges on the bench, but that doesn't happen here. Judge Rashan gets every single anti-Trump case that there is in New York. He got Alan Weissenberg, he got Steve Bannon, now we get my father. This is supposed to be round robin. It's supposed to be blind. It's supposed to be a random assignment of judges. Yet this guy has gotten 3 in a row. No one believes it, and that's the corruption of the New York system.
It's a great war. Eric Trump is with us, and of course we're talking about the trial going on in New York City with his father.
an old Vietnam street fighter who takes on the scissor. And Hannity is going it today, fighting left-wing powers who want to stamp out conservative voices, fighting fire with fire. That's Sean Hannity.
Hey, radio buddy Jimmy Fallon reminding the Fox Across America with Jimmy Fallon here every weeknight, 6 to 9, right here, 104.5, OKB, Jacksonville's News and Talk. If you're like me, you got kids, you go.
Mommy, why are we going to the store? Mom, your child will have different needs at different stages of life, and that includes the car seat. That's right, the car seat. A car seat isn't one size fits all. You have to have the right seat based on your child's age, weight, and height. See, car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. But there's a website that gives you all the information you need. safercar.gov/the-right-seat. You'll find out about types of seats, when to have a seat rear facing, when to switch to forward facing, when it's time for a booster seat, and when it's time for your child to ride in the back seat with a seatbelt. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Sure, someone's gonna be a little weird at times, but they get for me. Dog, and a person's about the best thing that can happen to your children. So give up that you think you have person. Give that to your local pension. Or with a children. Pick up. You got the evidence. This is 1.5 WTV Jacksonville's biggest dance off.
Experience One Tree Hill all over again. There's so much stuff. Listen to Rockbeats, wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to continue now with Eric Trump and the Trump Organization in New York City. He's been at the trial, following the trial very closely. By the way, I don't know if you saw this, but Benny Thompson, who ran the January 6th committee, we now know that very exculpatory information was not brought up in that Hollywood those Hollywood primetime hearings. He doesn't want you guys to have Secret Service protection for crying out loud. And then other things out there saying Donald Trump wants to kill his opposition. And meanwhile, a prominent Democratic candidate is posting "Die MAGA Die."
Yeah. They would be having Trump in every cover today, but they would be managing that why they're doing this. They're doing this with a fundraiser. They're doing this because it's so left and it's crazy. I mean, they need to be believe that nobody should be able to understand what they do with why is why they do
It should be smooth getting into the stadium between their drunken nose uniforms, but you need that VIP pass when you're ready to go up to the bus.
They were having their courtroom for the next 196 days and not on the campaign trail. Although I don't know if you've heard, that's not going to work either. You don't have the campaign trail all to yourself. The problem is you can't utter two sentences together. I do have to run, but we'll get an update from you. We'll know a lot more by tonight when you're on Hannity night. We appreciate your time and voting.
Great guy.
Hey, ¿qué pasa?
You want to be part of the program. And you're listening to the best of the Sean Hannity Show. All of your favorite guests, topics, and memorable moments. That's all coming up.
What's happening in the news, Travis Weather? Mike in the news 104.5 WOKBF. Sponsored by Mad Mining Services. Saluting all
Get your pass out and just walk in like you want, please.
But your family is not alone. If you're struggling with your mortgage, there is help. To learn about the government's Making Home Affordable program, visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE to speak to a pre-approved housing counselor. It's free of charge. Visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE today. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, NeighborWorks America, and the Ad Council.
Your smart speaker is even smarter. There's an elevator around here that opens right into the private box.
Live local news from the city's largest radio news department at the top of the bottom every hour. Get smarter. Tell your smart speaker to play WOKB radio. This is 104.5 WOKB Jacksonville.
Fox News. I'm Deborah Valentine. Tornadoes struck parts of Nebraska and Iowa Friday. Inland, Nebraska. Witness described the damage in cell phone video. Trouble driving. Injuries but no extremities are reported. Former President Donald Trump spent 20 times revealed that Tuesday in New York City outside of court on Friday. Former President calling the case of interference. Trump also blamed the president for his legal troubles, calling it a well-coordinated attack on a political opponent. In New York, President Biden was serious as that Mark Stern. He would have agreed to debate with the former president Donald Trump this fall. America's listening to Fox News.
You ain't got the sense, you gotta give a rock.
The best way to search for people is to search all search, match, and I was able to hire someone, it was so slow and overwhelming. I wish I could. If you need to hire, you need international hiring platform with over 3 really overwhelming visitors. To get and imagine that helps you find all the candidates fast, reach the business, for scheduling screening messages, connect with candidates fast, and read messages over the press. One thing is important to read. The highest quality matches compared to other websites.
America. Enjoy a family dinner every day of the week at Pizza Inn with our new chicken Parmesan pizza. Shredded sweet, tender and spiced breaded chicken on a couch with a delicious hot marinara sauce. Put down the bites, grab your family, and enjoy some quality time together at our delicious buffet. Family dinner is ready anytime. Pizza Inn, America's hometown pizza buffet where family dinner still happens.
And safeguard Americans at sea. Think like our nation's defense is so centered so help keep our security safe. Support our Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and U.S. flag worship parade by enrolling as a member of the Navy League of the United States, the #1 advocate for our sea services. Learn more at NavyLeague.org. Navy League is a CS certificate.
The first weather forecast. 9 well, the updated weather wasn't clear overnight. Temperatures dropping to the lower 60s. This is fog about 8 Then becoming partly cloudy for Saturday. A weak shower possible in just a few spots. With highs below 70s, the beaches to the upper 70s to near 80. Near coast to about 95. From the Coastal Weather Center, actually, catch chicken meteorologist Mike Burrish, and 104.5.
They're all fitted with EMPs in case of emergencies. Or, trolling. You should use one to stall the car so you can catch it. That's why I'm right. Look for one of the seats that has a green light next to it. Should be able to do this.
This is a John Henry show. Like in Utah in a minute, Congress obviously grappling, fighting, struggling over issues involving, funding wars in Ukraine and how much support to give Israel. And Joe Biden has a pretty great dilemma. The Democrats have a pretty big dilemma in front of them. And that is that the base of their party just need to have zero understanding as it relates to what actually happened on October 2nd. That is of course, the burning of children, raping of women, hostages taken, and what was the largest terror attack in Israel's history. And we even have Americans still being held hostage. Nobody really knows if they're dead or alive. Then you have all over the country, you have the insanity of rampant anti-Semitism all over college campuses around the country. All made up of and colleges now seemingly literally approach to computing is intensifying from Palestinian in many cases.
As soon as you get to the car, activate the bypass module so they can't kill the engine on your way out of here.
Actually, the victims of terror, rather than just say, no, we support your right to defend yourself and give your war against those that have attacked you and only person is not great. Understanding pretty more. Like your president. This is their president. Ukraine is not a part of NATO. I don't think the United States contributing. I don't like Putin but a dictator. But this is now evolved into a U.S. Russian anti-war because of the obsession of my party to deal with this sort of conflict of emotional putting all the pressure on the victims of terror in the Middle East. I don't understand the calculation.
No, it's exactly right. For one party of money, we are the bill that is setting $60 billion to Ukraine. We still spend up to $9.5 billion. That's what the so we've got this whole thing back as the proxy war against Russia. One thing we know about proxy war. Proxy war is another by the United States of America that drag out now into their third year. They have to become non-proxy wars. They want to non-proxy war is fought against a nuclear armed adversary. That's kind of true. It's not to say we should never, ever consider any conflict that would result in it. But we've got to consider that as a nothing. And we're going to head on that way. They must have been planning to blow this up as part of the show or something. You know, I met a guy in Ellis Garvey. Knows a lot about cars, and he is mad crazy, man. You know him? He's called Howard. Go to his shop and he says he'll be able to disable the ship before it goes off. I'll let him know you're coming.
She started her conversation. We consider the superhero a lot of things about the to exposure of bad things to you. She can now make a sort of the superhero presented by Spider-Man. This is not explained to you and tell us about your superhero knowledge. Springs here at your hometown. As humans, we're actually driven by the search for better. We're used to failure. The best way to search for it is in social art. Search, match, indeed. There's a comparison. Search slow. Don't be wrong. Search it. Percent of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to the job site. $75 job credits. Get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast.
That was way too close. But how to get to that bomb? This show must have been last minute addition to the halftime show because I had no idea. I mean, it was awesome, but I need a sedative stat. Just bring the car back to the yard. We'll get any damage fixed up, and we're all set.
All these CCCs and rewards are lower than low prices. And when you download the program, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week in digital coupons. Plus, you can earn points to save up to $1 per gallon a month. So it's easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Save bigger by taking
low prices now. You save big for one. If we locked in low prices tax and enjoy your savings now. Other stores still go to the program. They encourage affiliations with sons and headers, onions, bells, and shoes that will be some cheaper classes. Parties and things. Limited on stations. I will thank you for understanding the basis of it's the first time from the idea from check 30% off designers and bring going sale affiliation with my business college and to latest and more convenient children plus many products and digital class and please one on their side. Turning this week, saving up every lesson, expenses, exclusions. Take a guess work out of your check guess right. It's free and the price of the delivery solution paid by over 650 million units and verified by ASIC certified master technician. Ask them to Paris Scan today.
I was prepared to be a caregiver, but I didn't know I realized she could take care of herself without help. hard it would be. They're just about to know. They can spend a lot of time how to really important it be for me, ways to stay positive. Luckily, I have the caregiving resource from AARP. It had part of the basics that got me started, but also information about the resource facing this role. I can keep getting inspiration from others who do things. And I just wrote on ACT's one. Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your people and care for yourself. This message is brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is 104.5 WOKV, Jets Voice News and Talk.
I have All In Podcasts on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
If the Duggins had only invited your boy Jamal, maybe they'd still have some wheels.
We continue with Utah Senator Mike Lee, who's with us. We'll get to your calls at the bottom of the half hour. 800-941-SEAN is the number. So we now have a situation where Republicans really don't, unfortunately in the House, this is how I'm seeing it, is you have probably at least, I can identify 40 people that I can confidently say are rhinos. So you don't have a united caucus there. You are in the minority in your body in the Senate. However, there is power that you do have, and for example, the Senate rule requiring 60 votes to bring debate to a close, and Schumer has a razor-thin majority in the Senate. And, you know, in that sense, I would think that Republicans, if they united in your body, would be able to stop a lot of this, but they don't seem willing to do it there either.
No, that's exactly right. And thank heavens for the closure rule. It takes 50 votes to bring debate to a close. And you can't have a bill like this without bringing debate to a close first. So my advice to my Republican colleagues is that we should not even consider bringing support to bring debate to a close on this bill, especially whereas here, we're being denied both even on amendments. The Senate's voting right now on my motion to table the amendment, which is
Can you put in a good word for me with your mechanic?
I'm saying that no,
I feel like you
Democrats
think
vote
I'm
in a
an
row
asshole.
can vote on any amendment to this bill. Look, 41 senators, any group of 41 can stop this bill dead in its tracks. They can kill the bill. And we've got 49 Republican senators. I don't know why we're doing this bidding of the Democratic Party here. And I understand that we said some House got raised their Republican vote. Well, right now, the Democrats got raised the Democrats got raised the Senate. And in the House, they don't even have this social rule, so they don't have that excuse. At least in the Senate, we will still have just
Okay, you need 41. What's the math now if you need 41 votes?
The math is that we have 41 votes to double. They can't get the 50. And so that's one that shuts down completely. The math in the prior one was that you have 26 Republican senators, 3 Democrats who voted against the last grain supplemental bill. And if we could hold those, and then we could pick up another 12 votes, we could get to 41. And 41 stops the bill. There's no reason why we as Republicans should be this anxious. Remember, we as Republicans stood strong on this, or most Republicans did, a couple of months ago. It's essentially the same bill. Sure, they've added a couple things to it, but it's essentially the same bill.
Anything I can do for you, boss?
Even though we as a party made it a month ago, we're not going to give more money to Ukraine until out of this. We have to secure border, and we passed something with it that would force Joe Biden to secure the border. There's nothing in here that does that. So we're spending all kinds of money, putting all kinds of resources into use the border, while ours continues to be made.
And with $35 trillion in debt, and you don't have to be an MIT grad and a math genius to figure out that $1 trillion a year servicing the interest on that debt alone is not sustainable for any country, is it?
No. In fact, debt service, which was, back in the early 2010s when I got here, I think we were in the range of 250, 300 billion a year. It's now eclipsing our national defense spending. And within a year, I think it's going to crest above $1 trillion a year. There is not enough money to cover this. We have got to start somewhere. We could start by not funding other people's wars, especially wars that we've already funded to the tune of $113 trillion.
Well said, Senator. There's only really one way out of this in the end, is we need more conservative House members, more conservative senators. We need as big a majority as possible, and we need Donald Trump to be reelected. And in 195 days, frankly, the trajectory of this country is hanging by a thread. That's how important this